I need to compete and you need to compete as well. Here's why. When I feel like I'm competing, when I am training for a race, I am dialing in my diet, my training, and I am striving for a goal. When I'm striving for a fitness goal, I also set other goals that are non-fitness related. And I feel like I strive for those goals more. When I am training for a big race, I feel like I'm doing better in the company. I'm doing better as a dad, husband, a man of God. I feel like I am just dialed in. And that's why I love competing and why I think you should be competing as well. At least give it a shot because I promise you that you're going to be like focused on this one goal and you're going to strive to hit that PR and it's going to lead into all the other aspects of your life as well. Like I said, personally, I'm an endurance guy. I love hitting the weights. I like doing some functional training stuff. However, I'm not a huge CrossFit guy. I like doing like the bodybuilding and powerlifting type of lifting, but also I really enjoy running. Um, Classify that as whatever you want. The whole big thing is hybrid athlete. And I used to classify myself under that, and maybe I still do. But I feel like that's Nick Bare's thing. I'm sure many of you know who Nick Bare is. Love Nick Bare, great guy, great company. But endurance stuff, I like doing that as well. So the reason that I like endurance events is because I feel like I'm always moving when I'm running, and I don't have time to look at my phone. When I'm in the gym, when I'm doing strength training, sometimes I have 5 to 8 minutes between sets, and I get lost in my phone. Motivation just goes away, and that's one reason that I do not like powerlifting. Um, Plus, my strength is just not there. So you will not see me competing in powerlifting. However, many people love it and they do fantastic at it. And if that's your thing, please continue. Some other great events that people compete in is strongman, bodybuilding, people like High Rocks, CrossFit. There's so many different things. Something else that I want to get into potentially is triathlons. Why triathlons? Because I hate the water. I am scared of water. I can swim, but I'm like a rock. Funny story, I actually failed my lifeguard test twice in high school because I cannot float. So one of the things you had to do was hold a 10-pound brick on your back and flutter kick backwards. I think it was like 25 or 50 yards. And your boy couldn't do it. um, so, like I said, this past year I did not compete at all. That's because I had a kid. My priorities were a little different. I was in a different season of my life. But this year I want to dial in on my training and on the business. And you can see I'm making this video November 8th, I think today is. Why in November? Why not wait till December 29th to pick my goals and then start training? Well, that's the issue with many people. They say, oh, I'm going to do it here, I'm going to do it then. Once it's the new year, then I'll start. No. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Next best time is today. Start training today. Yes, you may not have an event until like August of next year, but let me tell you, you get this extra month and a half in, and it's going to be the difference between a 4.5 hour marathon versus a 4 hour marathon. It's like I said, endurance guy, threw that out there. 30 minutes in a marathon is a huge difference. That could be the difference between hitting a bench PR of 315 versus 335. It's crazy stuff. But anyway, I just want to encourage you to compete. We have so many athletes that compete, and honestly, just to see them hit their goals and how that affects their personal lives is just tremendous. For those of you that don't know who I am or you're just watching this, my name is Austin Marks, and I do own a faith-based fitness company. So we have supplements, we have merch. Basically, our whole goal is to spread the kingdom of Jesus, let people know who Jesus is. Our slogan is be the 1%, reach the 1%. So we want to be the best version of ourselves while also telling people about Jesus, reaching the 1%. So be the 1% is pretty self-explanatory. And then reach 1% comes from Luke 15:7. For there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous men who don't repent. So therefore, we want to find that one sinner, that one person that wants to give their life to Christ. So that's our whole goal. And honestly, by competing and just wearing the merch and just showing up on social media and showing the world what we're doing is tremendous. And I love it. The company has come so far. And honestly, I just can't thank all the athletes enough because what we have going on like I said, it's amazing, and I really do see God moving in people's lives. I talk to a lot of people, I hear many testimonies, and I'm just like, it makes me feel blessed because some of these testimonies that I've heard, it's just, I don't understand how some people go through some of these things. Um, Honestly, it makes me think of Job in the Bible. So Job lost everything and he still relied on God. Did he have questions? Of course he did. Did he blame God? At one point he did. But ultimately he was a servant of God and he just said, God, I trust you, and all this is happening for a reason. Even though all his friends were kind of telling him otherwise, Job still leaned into God. So that is something I also want to encourage you to do, because we're all going to go through trials and tribulations. And like I said, some of these athletes that have lost loved ones, try to commit suicide, and have just done or faced terrible things in their life. Um, like I said, they are so, so strong. And that's the power of what we are doing, is we want to find people that have strong testimonies like that and be able to share that with other people, because there are people going through life right now that need somebody to talk to. And that's another reason I tell people that maybe this is why God has you going through a trial, is because you will be able to help someone else someday during their trial, and you'll be able to lead this person to Christ. Anyway, that's kind of going on a little bit of a different topic, but you need to start competing. Start today, write down your goals and what you want to do, and set a very high goal. Don't set something easy. Now, someone once told me was, if you want to get in shape, sign up for a 5K. If you want to change your life, sign up for a marathon. And honestly, myself doing 2 marathons is completely true. I feel like anyone can train for a 5K and complete that, but not, I think everyone can train for a marathon, but not everyone has the endurance to go through the journey. It's all about the journey and what you're going to find throughout that journey that is ultimately going to lead to your life changing, not necessarily completing a marathon, saying, oh, I did a marathon, my life is hoorah. That's not going to be the case. It's what you're going to go through in the process of that training. And this is why I want to encourage you to pick a very high goal. Now, is a 5K a hard goal for some people? Of course it is, especially if you're a little overweight and you haven't ran in years. Do a 5K. 5K is a great starting point. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I just want to encourage you to keep going, start today, and if you have any questions, reach out. I'm more than happy to help you. God bless.